So our president pretty much set the world on fire on Friday. Holy shit. So Donald Trump has continued his chaotic descent into madness with his choices that he is making. And I am going to spend a little bit of time today pissing off some more Republicans because that's become my favorite thing to do. First of all, got some new lighting today. I've decided to use some natural light as opposed to harsh spotlight. I don't know if it makes any difference. Let me know in the comments below. Surprisingly, I get almost as many comments on my production quality as I do about the content of my video. So let me know what you think. I'd appreciate it down below. Anyway, what we've seen going on as the campaign continues to chug away, we are technically still in the early days of the presidential campaign. We are seeing more and more choices being made by the White House and specifically by Donald Trump's re-election campaign to do some really crazy politics. And what we saw coming out on Friday really takes the cake. So it started with the unemployment benefit discussion that's been going on in Congress for some time now. Last week, for those that don't know, maybe you have a job and you haven't had to worry about unemployment or you haven't paid attention to the news, or if that's the case, I don't know how you ended up on my channel. But anyway, there has been a $600 unemployment benefit that's been going on pretty much since the beginning of this whole pandemic. I believe it took a few weeks to get up and going, probably mid to late April, that money started showing up in people's pockets. So regardless of what most people get from unemployment, whether it's $200, $300, $400, whatever they get, that money is then, another $600 is now added on, that's paid for through a bill that was passed and turned into law from Congress, allowing this extra $600. It's basically a stimulating boost to the economy to get people out spending money. So that was expired a week and a half ago or so, and then a lot of people across the country have now been left without this extra money. Now, people on the other side, the conservative side, have been complaining that this money is a disincentivizing action. It keeps people from working. People that are getting $600 plus normal unemployment have no impetus to go back to work, no impetus to look for work or to leave that unemployment behind. Film it live. You get to catch me drinking coffee. So I've seen it in my industry. I can't say specifically that's what it is. I do know of at least one, maybe two people in my industry that have chosen to stay home and not come back to work because they don't want to lose that $600. Now, I get it. We're in an unknown situation. Why would anybody in their right mind scoff at money? I get it. I'm not making a judgment on whether or not the $600 was the right amount. What I want to talk about is what happened next. So, Democrats, House-led Democrats Democrat-led House, Nancy Pelosi wants to maintain the $600. Republican-led Senate, led by Mitch McConnell, wants to lower that number to $200. They're at a stalemate. There's no movement on it. Certainly no doubt the Democratic plan would call for a big boost in spending, which would affect our already monumental national debt and the amount that we have been spending this year. Republicans, of course, always being the party of fiscal responsibility, unless it is for their programs or taxes, they choose to keep it at $200. They don't want to go any higher. There's no budging. So White House steps in. This is actually something that's supposed to happen in politics. The White House stepped in and helped to broker a deal. Sat everybody down at tables. They talked about all the different possibilities and how is it going to work and who can make what sacrifices and what pork's going to be where and all the things. All this. They were all in the room where it happened, right? Then it gets crazy. Next thing you know, there's an announcement that all the talks fell through. Everybody walked away. We're left with nothing. We're now about to go into our second week with no unemployment assistance. And then later that day, it gets filtered out to the media that Donald Trump's going to make an announcement. He's going to sign an executive order. So what he did was he signed an executive order that extended unemployment benefits at $400. Woo! Yay! Trumpy! Woo! Ooh, you're the best. Thank you very much. You've helped all the American people. Not so fast. So there's several different things in this plan that are horrific. Okay, first of all, it throws an initial onus onto the states in order to pay for this. So the first 25% of this $400 has to be paid from by the states. If the states buy into it and they pay out an extra however $1 billion is going to be for their state. For example, in New York State, in order for us to just do the first $100 each week would cost New York State $8 billion. We are already cutting and slashing programs because states are not allowed, unlike the federal government, states are not allowed to run at a deficit. So what you have happening now is that you have states that need this money, but they literally cannot spend the money necessary to pay out the first $100. If a state can pay the first $100, then the federal government will allow the states to take a loan that the federal government will borrow from other programs, and then that loan has to be paid back from the states with interest. It's a money-making scheme. It's all set in place so that Donald Trump in a few months can say, see, I brought down the deficit by doing this program. The other thing that he announced in this bill, not a bill, the other thing he announced in this unilateral executive action is that he is going to, or at least he proposed, a permanent moratorium on payroll taxes should he get elected. Should he get elected in November, he promises to permanently eliminate payroll taxes. Now, payroll taxes are that extra amount you pay, not your income tax, right? So there's money that goes to the feds, and there's money that goes to the state. This is your income tax. Your assessed income tax rate could be anywhere between 0% if you are in the poverty line, anywhere from 0% up to 46-50%, whatever it ends up being for the wealthiest of Americans. What he's talking about is that 7.62% of payroll taxes that includes Medicare, Social Security, among other things. Those two right there being the important ones. Medicare, which is the money that we use to fund the healthcare system that we provide for our elderly, and Social Security. Now, what does that mean? Well, let me tell you what that means. First of all, if you eliminate Medicare, we have millions of Americans that are past retirement age that need Medicare in order to get the basic health care that they need. As everybody knows, as you get older, your body breaks down. You need to go to the doctor fairly often. Many of these people are on prescription programs. We already had the Bush administration gut Medicare, the second Bush gut Medicare, forcing them to buy into these supplemental plans and spend money in the private sector that they don't really have because many of them are already on a fixed budget. So now the next Republican that sees office now wants to completely eliminate Medicare, because if you don't fund it, how do you have the program? The second piece of that is the Social Security piece. Social Security in this country has been on the chopping block by the Republicans for decades. Since this program was first put into place, they have been fighting. They fought tooth and nail to not allow this program in years and years and years ago. And now he's promising, first of all, he doesn't really have this power, but he's promising to cut a payroll tax that provides the money for Social Security. Now, this is your money. You've paid into it. And effectively, once that money is gone, it would be gone. Let that sink in for a second. Now, the reality of all of this is none of this is going to happen. The states do not have the money to front the first 25% of the unemployment tax. They just don't. And then of course, we're talking about transferring of funds of which the presidential position only has very, very limited scope. He cannot extend unemployment benefits through actual Congress because that's Congress's job. The president does not have the power of the purse. This would be, if he wants to actually extend unemployment benefits at $400 a month and take the onus off the states, it's going to require passage in both the House and the Senate. I don't see that happening right now. And as a matter of fact, I know a lot of you that come on my channel hate Nancy Pelosi. Well, she's got a checkmate getting ready to be played right here because now she holds the power because he's already filtered that out there. McConnell said no way he steps above $200, and now he's going to be forced to accept $400. But now it's going to have to come with gravy because that's the way these things work. so sorry. Because what else did he do on Friday? Oh, he wasn't done yet. The other thing that he did was this. You may have heard about the Friday Night Massacre. Well, this one's a doozy. Now, this is one of those things where information gets dumped. They call it taking out the trash, when bad information gets let out to the public on Friday nights, because there's not really a whole lot of news cycle over the course of the weekend. So this one has got some legs, and we'll see how much it gets talked about today. But basically what happened is Louis DeJoy, he's the Postmaster General, who was put in that position by Trump, decided to basically just oust a whole bunch of leaders, a whole bunch of the upper management of the post office. Now, what does that mean? Well, first of all, the post office is already unbelievably overwhelmed right now because of the nature of what's going on with COVID. People are avoiding stores and they're buying a lot of their stuff online. This Louis DeJoy, before becoming Postmaster General and before giving millions of dollars to the Trump campaign, he runs a distribution company. Who's one of his primary competitors when he's in business is the United States Postal Office or Postal Service. So, what other reason would he have other than to basically dismantle one of his largest competitors? Oh, he actually does have other things to do, because the other thing that's going on right now in presidential politics is the fact that a large number of voters in November are going to use the Postal Service to mail in their ballots. If they can eliminate mail-in ballots, because the majority of people that are going to avoid the polls, like going physically to a poll, the majority of people that are going to avoid those polls are Democrats. They are people that respect what's going on with coronavirus. There are people that respect the safety of others. There are people that are willing and able and happy to wear a mask. I mean, nobody's really happy to wear a mask, but the people that are going to vote Trump out of office are paying attention to the rules. The people that are going to go to the polling places, the people that don't give a flying shit about COVID, the people that think that wearing a mask is an infringement on their constitutional rights, those people vote Republican. So if you can eliminate a large swath of mail-in voters by fucking up the post office, that only can help Trump win election. Re-election, as it were. I mean, the thing is, everybody knows what he's doing, except for the people that don't pay attention to the nuances of politics. And that's why I want to be here, to kind of filter out some of this. Do I have all the facts and all the details? No, of course I don't. I am not a professional journalist. I am, as I have anointed myself, a self-absorbed madman. I'm just ranting about the things that I believe in and the opinions that I have on things. The other thing that we got going on here, more news that came out on Friday. Kristi Noem, the governor of North Dakota, let it out that Donald Trump had specifically asked her, how does one going about getting a new president put on Mount Rushmore? This man has been in office during race riots, civil unrest, the largest economic crash in history, beyond the Great Depression. What are we at now? 160,000 deaths to COVID, 5 million cases. I think we just crossed 5 million cases. We are the epicenter of everything that is wrong with coronavirus. He's the head of the office. He is a racist. He's a misogynist. He has played around with divisive politics the entire time that he's been in office, and he actually believes that his face should be on Mount Rushmore. Fuck you, sir. Fuck you very much. I do not think so. That is not going to happen. One last bit of thing here. We are probably within, I would say, 48 hours, if not less. It might be today. Within 48 hours of finding out who Joe Biden's pick is going to be for VP, it will not be this woman. It will not be Elizabeth Warren. I promise you that. Although this article in this is Politico. This article in Politico, I'm going to link to all these articles that I've referenced here. She has actually she's raised $7.7 million for him by being at events. However, where is the note here? Kamala Harris has always also raised $5 million, and Tammy Duckworth has brought in $3 million. Now, I think Elizabeth Warren was a good choice a long time ago. However, given the nature of what is going on right now in the country and honestly, some of the ways that Elizabeth Warren has stepped in it regarding her heritage, I think she's a toxic idea at this point, although she would bring in a lot of birdie voters that have been on the fence. I believe that Kamala Harris, who brings in strong ability to fundraise and is a powerhouse of a human being, unbelievably intelligent. I think she brings obviously the African American vote, black and brown vote in general, very strongly to the election. Susan Rice, who also could have done that. Susan Rice was this. What was she? She was National Security Advisor, I think, for Obama. She's actually never run for office, so I don't know if you put somebody that's that new in politics. I mean, obviously she's worked in the political realm her entire career. However, she's never run for office. She's never had to stand on a debate stage. She's never had to headline a fundraiser. So I don't think she's going to be the choice no matter what. Tammy Duckworth, who is an amputee, I believe, don't quote me on that. I'm doing this live. I didn't double check that. But Tammy Duckworth, she's a powerhouse as well, but not African American descent. So if I was going to be a betting man, which I am not, I am not even really a pundit, but if I was a betting man, I say Kamala Harris at this point. I think that's the best chance that he's got to really just win by. I mean, I think he already wins by a landslide, but this would ultimately push him right over the edge. What do you think? Who do you think is going to be his running mate, VP contender, as it were? Let me know down below. And also, do you think that I can't say with a straight face. Do you think that Trump belongs on Mount Rushmore? Do you believe that the post office, the Postmaster General, is gutting the post office for good reasons or nefarious ones? And lastly, what do you think the chances are that the Democrats or Republicans are going to win on this unemployment thing? Because something has to give. Wow, what a weekend it's been. I miss you guys. I'm going to be back here every day for the rest of the week, right around 8 or 9 a.m. every morning. Keep an eye on the Daily Octane. Hey, like this video if you liked what I had to say. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'm really building this channel up. I kind of like the direction it's going. It's building nice and slowly. It's organic. Grabbing a few subscribers every day. I'd love to get you as a subscriber as well. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button, and I will see you guys tomorrow in another episode of the Daily Octane. Have a great day, guys.